Sigma males are a mystery to many. They are the men who stand out by not trying to stand out at all. They march to the beat of their own drum, often leaving others confused, intrigued, or even envious. While the world is filled with men trying to be alpha, Sigma males prefer to fly under the radar, only revealing their strength and wisdom when necessary. They are often seen as cold or aloof, but that's only because they refuse to follow the herd. They are not easy to fool and don't waste time on things or people who only bring drama or chaos into their lives. Many misunderstand them, thinking they lack social skills or are just plain strange. It's not an easy path to walk, but it's the only way for Sigma males. While being a Sigma has many advantages, there are also some harsh realities that come with it. Here are 9 brutal truths every Sigma male must face. Number 1. Analysis paralysis. Have you ever been in a situation where you couldn't decide because your mind was overloaded with too much information or scenarios? This is a common dilemma for Sigma males. Deep reflection and analysis are traits that serve well in complex situations, but they can become a stumbling block when overdone. This is often called analysis paralysis, a state where the constant overthinking of decisions leads to a standstill. The drive to make the best choice causes endless cycles of contemplation, where every possible outcome is dissected to the point that making a decision becomes nearly impossible. The fear of making the wrong call can outweigh the importance of progressing, which ironically can lead to missed opportunities and regrets over inaction. This self-imposed gridlock is a challenge many Sigma males face, especially when faced with life-changing decisions. Whether changing careers, starting your own business, or any major life decision, this trap can be difficult to escape. Moving past analysis paralysis involves trusting one's intuition and accepting that some uncertainty is part of life's every decision. It's about finding a balance between thoughtful deliberation and the ability to take action. So while being a deep thinker is an asset, it's essential to know when to put a stop to endless contemplation and make a move. Number 2. High standards in a romantic partner. As with all things, Sigma males are not looking for just anyone to share their life with. This doesn't mean they expect perfection, but they do have a high bar when it comes to compatibility and connection. This often means a longer wait for someone who matches these expectations. There's a brutal truth here. The higher they set the bar, the smaller the pool of potential partners becomes. Without compromise, the search for a truly compatible partner can be a long and lonely road. It's not about being picky for the sake of it, but rather about not settling for less than what feels right. This can lead to friends and family questioning why they're still single or why they haven't found someone yet. The reality is that such standards come from a deep understanding of self-worth and the refusal to be in a relationship that doesn't fully resonate on all levels. While this approach can limit romantic options, it preserves integrity and ensures that any future relationships will be sincere and fulfilling. The trade-off is clear. Waiting for a meaningful connection is better than settling for an unsatisfying one. The journey to find love that meets high standards is neither simple nor easy, but it promises a more authentic and rewarding partnership in the long run. Number 3. Logic to a fault. Sometimes, being logical can get in the way of human connection. Sigma males rely heavily on reason, so it can be tough to navigate situations that call for a softer touch if they don't make perfect sense. Take it from the guy who always leans on cold, hard facts. He might miss some nuances of emotional cues that are screaming to be heard. Feelings often don't follow a logical pattern, and this can be baffling and frustrating for a man who's wired to think first and feel later. He's the friend who'll give you the most practical advice when all you needed was a listening ear or a comforting pat on the back. It's not that he doesn't care. In fact, he does, maybe even more than most. It's just that his instinct is to fix things rather than empathize. This trait can make his relationships a bit rocky, especially when dealing with more emotionally driven individuals. Sometimes it's okay to not have all the answers, and every now and then It's perfectly fine to just sit with the chaos, to just be there with someone and let the mess of life be, without trying to sort it out right away. Life is messy, and feelings are a big part of it. Too much logic can make someone seem cold or uncaring, even when they are not. Finding that sweet spot between being rational and compassionate is a real challenge. It means understanding that sometimes the heart has reasons that the mind just doesn't get. Number 4. Experiencing social exhaustion. Despite their ability to navigate social situations when necessary, many Sigma males find extended social interaction to be draining. They value meaningful conversations, but often feel overwhelmed by small talk and superficial exchanges that dominate many social settings. It's not that they're inherently antisocial or dislike people. It's the shallowness of certain social habits that exhausts them. They crave depth and often find that genuine connections are rare in the average social gathering. This can lead to a sense of isolation and the feeling that they don't quite fit in with those who thrive on constant socialization. Sigma males know how to limit their social exposure to preserve energy for activities and interactions that feel truly rewarding. But balancing their need for solitude with societal expectations of sociability can be a tough line to walk. They often face the misconception that they're cold or detached, when in reality, they're simply guarding their energy and seeking authenticity in their social lives. This social exhaustion is an inward battle they regularly confront, striving to find environments and companions that resonate with their desire for depth and genuine connection. Number 5. Different thinking process. Having a unique thought process means not always going along with conventional wisdom. Sigma males think outside the box, which can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, it gives them the ability to solve problems in fresh and innovative ways. They'll come up with solutions that no one else has thought of. On the other hand, it can make communicating ideas a real hassle. When you're not on the same wavelength as everyone else, it's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. People don't always get where they're coming from, and that can be isolating. It's like speaking a different language sometimes. They see a clear path ahead that others just can't see, which can lead to frustration on both sides. This can lead to conflict, misunderstandings, or even the feeling that they are not being valued or heard in group settings. Even when they know they're right, convincing others can feel like an uphill battle. It requires patience, the ability to explain thoughts clearly, and sometimes just going with the flow even if they think there's a better way. That's why many Sigma males prefer to work independently or in small groups. They can fully utilize their strengths and unique perspectives without the need to constantly justify or explain themselves. It's not about being difficult or stubborn. It's simply how they process information. Number 6. Too many people with hidden agendas. Navigating the waters of hidden agendas is a harsh reality in modern society. It's quite common to meet people who are not upfront about their intentions. They may appear friendly and supportive on the surface, but underneath, they have their own motives. It's disheartening to think that someone you consider a colleague or even a friend might be maneuvering behind your back for personal gain. It's a sad truth that many Sigma males have learned through experience. Let's be real. It's a world where people constantly look out for themselves, and some may be stepping on others to get ahead. It means constantly being on your toes, questioning the motives behind the actions of those around you. This can create a feeling of distrust, and frankly, it's exhausting. Especially for Sigma males who prefer honesty and transparency, this aspect of human interaction can feel like a minefield. Even though they can read people well, it's impossible to always know someone's true intentions. This can lead to a guarded nature, making it difficult for them to truly open up and trust others. The trick is not to become so cynical that you miss out on genuine relationships because they do exist amidst the sea of pretenders. It's about developing that gut instinct to sense when something doesn't add up and having the courage to distance yourself from those who don't align with your values. It can be a lonely journey in a world full of agendas, But it's also freeing to recognize and sidestep the games you don't want to play. It becomes about finding balance, creating boundaries, and knowing who's worth your time and who's not. Number 7. Misunderstood as arrogant. Being labeled as arrogant is a common misunderstanding faced by those who wear their independence like a badge of honor. Their self-sufficiency and quiet confidence can come off as aloofness or a sense of superiority. It's like there's an invisible wall around them that says, "I've got this, I don't need your help," which might rub people the wrong way. This isn't about having a big ego. It's just that they're comfortable steering their own ship and don't typically seek approval or input from others. Sigma males may not be the first to start a conversation or join group activities because, for them, it's more about quality interactions than just small talk. Sure, they might have strong opinions and are not afraid to challenge the status quo, but this shouldn't be mistaken for thinking they're better than anyone else. There's a fine line between confidence and arrogance, and sometimes people can't see the difference. They're not trying to belittle others. They're just trying to be true to themselves. They believe actions speak louder than words and rather demonstrate their capabilities through results than merely talk about potential. Unfortunately, those who don't know them well might see this as being standoffish or worse, arrogant. It's a tough pill to swallow, especially when all they want is to live authentically without playing social games. Number 8. Small talk is a nightmare. To many, small talk is a simple way to break the ice. But for Sigma males who crave depth, it's like wading through a shallow pool when you long for the ocean. It's that awkward dance of trivialities and niceties, the stuff of weather conversations and polite nods about traffic. This aversion isn't about disdain for others. It's about the yearning for conversations that dive into the heart of the matter. That means something more. It's about wanting to skip the appetizer and get straight to the main course, where the real flavors of discussion can be savored. In a world built on the currency of small talk, it can be tough to navigate social waters when superficial chatter feels like tying weights to your feet. You can understand the tension between the desire for meaningful interaction and the necessity of these social scripts. It's not about being shy or unfriendly. It's about the inner confusion of wanting to connect more authentically, yet being confined to a maze of conversational formalities that often leads nowhere substantial. Finding fellow deep divers in the sea of surface swimmers is an ongoing quest. It's not just a matter of preference, but a pursuit for the essence of genuine connection. Number 9. Disliking crowded places. Crowded places can overwhelm even the steadiest of us, but for those who cherish their personal space and quiet reflection, a crowd of people feels suffocating. The never-ending noise, the bustling crowd, the mix of smells and sights, they all grab your attention and require some brain power to process. This isn't simply about Sigma males disliking inconvenience. It's a deeper need for an environment where thoughts and senses are not constantly bombarded by external stimuli. In such crowded environments, silence and concentration are rare commodities, making it hard to remain centered. There's a brutal trade-off here. The energy and vibrancy of a crowd often come at the expense of peace and personal thought. Escaping to the fringes or finding peace within chaos becomes an art. This preference for solitude isn't antisocial behavior. It's an honest response to the sensory overload that crowded spaces bring. The search for quieter spaces is more about maintaining sanity and less about avoiding society. It's an acknowledgement that calmness and space are vital for Sigma males to recharge and reflect, contributing to their sense of well-being.